Welcome, everybody. Hi, I'm Lex.
I'm Hazen Fields II.
And I am Trey. How
And-
y'all doing this morning?
And you're watching Various Fields. I'm sorry, I almost cut you off. Guys, I've been scared recently.
Oh, boy.
Scared of what?
That's exactly it. I've been more feelings of like anxiety and fears and just like, you know what's interesting? So for people out there, I just got a new apartment, which I'm happy with.
Oh, all right, congratulations.
And moved in from a roommate, moved in from a roommate's younger sibling, which has been cool. So I'm doing all the right things. I have a partner, all that. So like, things are going
all right,
well.
all right.
You also have a new hairdo.
Have a new hairdo
Yes,
for everybody.
yeah, that looks really good. Looks really nice. I like it. I like the look of it.
So I'm doing all this stuff. Also, new maybe a new promotion, all that kind of stuff. This is not me just patting myself on my back, but things are going well, right?
That's good.
But the thing is, which is interesting, is now that I get a little bit older and getting creepy, the thing that's getting to me now is like, oh, you know what you need now is a house. You need to be married with kids and a white picket fence and a dog.
Wow.
And it's
2.5
weird
kids.
because I've never actually wanted those things. That's not like something I'm planning for or like necessarily care about.
Right.
But now you just get those social anxieties of you're doing it wrong. Or like you're like, now that you're getting older, it's now time to be an adult. I need to do more. I did my taxes. I need to do more taxes now, I think.
Right.
I need to do taxes not even just annually. Like
Right.
but like the weird pressures of anxiety and
Got it.
life are the things that are like bothering me now.
Right, because you believe you've set up standards for yourself that says this is how it should happen or how you believe it should happen.
Well, that's the thing. The thing that's getting to me now is, which is weird, is that I was always not try to do things differently, but I was pretty affirmed in what I like, what I don't like, and like I already knew I was planning on doing something slightly differently. But now I'm getting older. I have another friend who's doing really well in different things. You guys know him, a lifetime friend. So like now my brain is like randomly doing comparisons. Like I don't really care about white picket fence and a dog, but I now see people with white picket fences and a dog. I'm like, Dinkelberg. It's
Right, exactly.
Did you say Dinkelberg?
Dinkelberg. Fail Odd Parents is a reference. Nickelodeon, don't sue us.
Okay.
I, the kids will know.
No, okay, all right.
Well, here at Various Fields, we already aware of the fact that we do things against the grain in the first place. I mean,
Right.
there is nothing wrong with following the beat of your own drum.
Yeah.
All right. But I definitely understand getting older now. That I'm 4 years older than you, so I kind of already hit these kind of anxietal points as well. All right. So I understand, like, there's a moment in time when you're feeling like, oh, I just want to be loose and free and just see the world and everything like that. And now I'm just thinking, I was like, why don't I have a Rothschild array? You know, it's like, what's that? You
Isn't
know?
that interesting?
You know,
Right.
it was like, what's my 10-year, like, mind you, I've always had 10-year goals, but like now I'm like looking at like 10-year plans. Like, what am I actually achieving in these ranges?
Now the anxiety. First you had your 10-year plan, and now your anxiety is, I don't have tenure.
Exactly.
Well, listen, so we're talking to the audience out there. Please make some comments out there because what's happening is we're discussing seemingly where should we be at this point in time with the fears and anxieties that we have, where we believe we ought to be in life, or have we attained those goals? You know, what shakes us up in terms of that? And you got different generations talking here to some degree, not really a different generation.
Right.
But I can definitely give you some insight. In one respect, I'm at the point of life where when you get to my age, you don't care.
That's beautiful.
You know, and there is the fears and anxieties that you have, and it's not that I don't deal with uncertainties, but I think that I deal with them differently because, you know, where you guys, and I've said this before, where the sun is in my life and positioned in the air.
Right there.
That
It's right there, Dad.
right. Well, I'm not talking.
It's also
about,
over there, too.
I'm not talking about my sons.
Oh, okay.
But what I'm saying metaphorically, where the sun is in my life is in a different position.
Right.
You know, so so when you get to a certain age, you don't believe it because when you're a younger person, you know, you do have those anxieties. I've had those things like, you know, oh my God, I should have this by the time. My father, now mind you, got to go back in time. My father put pressure on me and my sisters back in late, I guess, the 70s. And he said that, you know, he read a book and whatever my father said was law. So he would say, a man should have, for his age, you know, $1,000 for how old he is in reference to a yearly job salary. Now you got to understand, back when I would have been 30, $30,000 was a lot of money.
Right.
Really?
You know, so in other words, yeah, you know,
$30,000.
yeah, I know, but you know, you got to go. It's all relative. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? You know,
that's
so,
what-
you
that's
know,
what-
but at the time, you know, you see now you can mock my goals. You know, but
No,
it's not
I
mocking,
see. I
it's
see that as I see that with an envious look now, actually.
But
Because
because now you have to do the Google thing of like how much
Right.
was 30,000 to.
oh no, no, not even that. Like
Now.
I actually did a search just earlier within the week just to find out like what is the annual like standard of living in Albany, like what's expected to be like
it's
a
100
comfort
something,
level,
right?
you know. And I think there is a range of like 72,000 just to live in Albany as a standard living for a single individual to live comfortably.
Yeah, I think
And
in
then
New York it's like 70 to 100 or something.
no, in New York, an individual living in New York City is I think it was somewhere between like 120, all right, 170,
Yeah.
all right, and that's in the thousands. I was like, what am I?
Not that we don't make that much money, everybody, YouTube. We're rich.
But but the point I'm trying to make is when you're 20 years old and you get this information and you're just out of high school, more or less, $20,000 at you know, going back 10 years even further when you're 20, and I'm not making $20,000, and my father is saying, well, you know, this is what you're supposed to be doing. It does two things. It makes you feel anxiety, but his trick was not to make you feel anxiety, but to push forward towards, towards the goal. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing enough. And then you finally get there, and it's like you make that goal, and aha, Dad, I'll show you. I'm doing what, you know, and he's like, okay.
That'll give me more anxiety. Yeah,
that would be
That would give me.
interesting.
Well, that's the thing, because I figured this out where like I can logically know I'm doing okay. Like this happened just the other day. I got back. I'm already doing some late hours at the work and all that. So I've done like I can come back from a full hard work day and be like I've been doing like more than 11 hours of work. So you think like, all right, I satisfied, my brain shouldn't be telling me I'm doing more. I get home, I sit down, want to play some video games because I haven't played video games in a minute. I'm like, let me make sure I enjoy myself. And I sit down, maybe play for an hour, and then my brain's like, you're failing. You shouldn't be playing video games. You're not being an adult. And I'm like, I just worked 11 hours. So like, I'm not even, I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm not even like doing the whole like, it's like I can logically know I'm doing okay. But for some reason, the emotional feeling will come up and just be like, you're messing up. I'm like, no, I'm not. You're messing up. And that it's weird that I can have the logical and the emotion, like when they're fighting each other, you know?
Right. So what happens is, and a lot of us do this out there, and I'm listening to you talk, and you're not saying it directly, but we often equate where we ought to be with a financial status.
Absolutely.
You know, so in other words, you know, if you financially at a particular point in your life, it sometimes trumps how emotionally happy you are. Are you stable? Are you in terms of peace, you know, and happiness? You know, are you when you go to work, what's, you know, how do you feel? You know, so there's value in that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you want to, you know, so we have all these earmarks financially, but we don't necessarily put like peace marks, you know, like how at peace in our spirit and our heart. You know, where are you?
Right. And I do try to do that. Something I've been trying to do more recently. Actually, I want to get like an actual thing, like on a whiteboard or something, and do like, I want to do like a heart, mind, body, and soul kind of meter, which is like, all right, I didn't work out today, so maybe one reason why I'm not feeling well is because I didn't put a lot into my actual physical body.
Right.
Like I want to see my partner, so I need to put something like work on making sure I'm emotionally rested, or make sure I'm actually going to work and getting money. So this way, I'm like my whatever that might be under logic or fiscally thing, but make sure you're balancing each one and seeing them almost like each one is its own version of 9 to 5, and what's the value you're getting back. Like I think there's like I'm mentioning it more of like. I definitely try to do these things, you know, which I guess that's another thing with anxiety and stuff. It's a constant battle. Like you don't like, I don't think you can like delete anxiety. I don't think you can be like, I have now accomplished the everything. So I mean, maybe if you're like a monk or something, I think some people do the whole, I am peaceful and things like that. But every once in a while I'll come up. The reason why I mentioned the first thing was I'm now worrying about things that I wasn't even worried about, and I didn't even set myself up for.
Right.
Which is so like it's weird that I'm judging myself based off of things that I didn't care about.
That's cool. That's maturity. That's getting older.
Yes.
You know, as you said. Now, so how do you deal with
Yeah.
You know, because you're a newly married man.
You're a man now.
You know, you're a newlywed. You know,
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, there are a lot of different things that always keep me up at night. But like, I think, like you said, just the fiscal ones are the ones that are probably the ones that are more important to me, right? But even as you were saying too, because now I'm coming to the age where like you have to not just do annual physical checkups, but like you're like I have to worry about those doctor's visits that are,
Right.
just part and parcel of just getting older. I have to
Right.
look at I have to look at what I'm eating. I have to look at like I don't know, like in terms of like just daily task. I think my main fears is like what am I doing with my time?
The maintenance
You
of it
know,
all, right?
it's like don't get me wrong, like yes, that the fiscal things are like important. Like yeah, I can always try to find like I don't know, more money. Hopefully, there's other things I can do out there and just bring more money into the
Yeah.
household. But like, there's also like, what am I doing with my time? I want to make sure that in finding these pursuits, in like trying to chase these anxieties, am I also, like you say, like taking care of my own like personal life, like that work-life balance. Everyone so like, am I spending too much time here? Am I spending too much like time there?
Right.
Right? Am I not taking enough time at the gym? Am I doing too much at the gym? Like I was driving up here today and I'm like, this is a beautiful day. How come I'm not kayak? I know you went to you did
went
kayaking a while ago. I was like, how come I'm not kayaking? How come I'm not on a boat, a whitewater
right,
rapids, right?
You say whitewater rapping?
Whitewater rapping.
Rapids, yeah.
But what will happen is, I think what happens is, and I don't know if, again, I'm asking you, this is various fields.
Like,
We ask-
share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.
All the buttons.
And if this relates to you, you look like you had something there now. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, Nels, what about you? Do you find yourself sometimes dealing with various types of fears and anxieties or something for yourself? Okay. Yeah. Oh my God.
I like that.
Okay, all right. Well, all right. Well, I'm not advocating self-medicinal repair, but right, right. Yeah,
I like to move on.
right. I
Yeah.
understand.
Right, no,
I
of course.
understand. Now, yeah, I mean, but I think what happens is there is, especially at different age points, this is what I've learned, different points in your time, you're going to have different degrees of worry about your future.
Right.
Because at different points of your time, your future is forthcoming. When you get to my age, your future is here. All you have is more, you got less future than past or something like. But I mean, so therefore it's like, it's trying to not becoming overwhelmed. I think
Right.
there's a natural sense of planning and concern that you should have. You should, be concerned about, all these things, because when you're a younger person, you don't even commercials you don't hear when you're in your 20s. You don't hear the commercials, certain commercials. Like I know that when I got, closer to my mid 40s, you were hearing commercials about insurance. If you're between the ages of 45 and so, this commercial is for you. It was like, when I'm in my 20s, it doesn't even resonate.
Right.
I guess it's not a bad thing, but hemorrhoid commercials never even crossed my mind as a young man, But when you get older, it's like, oh, maybe that's product that I should investigate, that kind of thing. Because, as you get older, different things resonate more.
But bringing the timeline to it a little bit more, like you're talking, like you're dealing with commercials in your day, like and we all have seen them, but like I think more so, like as opposed to just keeping up with the Joneses, right? We're now all like keeping up with Kardashians now,
Oh, my God.
and not even just for the sake of the title or anything like that, but like there's so much more social media being pushed into the faces of people. So like as opposed to like waiting for your next monthly magazine subscription to tell you that you're messing up, right? You see like Facebook post, Instagram feed, and everything like, oh, you're seeing all these people in these moments of bliss, right? And saying, how come I'm not doing that now.
That's the other
today,
thing. They call what's
right
that?
here.
FOMO, the fear of missing. You know what's funny?
fear of missing out, precisely
The
that.
phrase is keeping up with the Joneses, and I have a friend with the last name Jones, and he's doing well. So I was like, I actually got to do it.
Absolutely.
I'm actually trying.
Joneses. All right.
Dang it. So, but that's and I'll put it to the audience too, because I mentioned the fears and anxieties, but there's a whole bunch of different types of ones. And you're right. There's certain things where like what a lot of people my generation now, or sometimes younger or older, call adulting is how they. Where it's like that's the hard part, because I feel like I have a hard time with maintenance stuff. But like weirdly enough, again, sometimes certain intensities are part of my job. I can work my job like over 12, 14, 16 hours, and that's no issue. Or I can do a lot of running around. I used to work in news. I can go to a house fire or like see some intense stuff. That's completely fine. But then like sitting down and doing paperwork or sitting down and scheduling my dentist appointment, anxiety.
Right.
And it's not like it's weird because that's a bit that you get when you're younger. Like, oh, when you're younger, you're scared of the dentist. Never had a problem when I was younger. But now that I actually have to schedule it myself, I'm like, oh no, when do I do it? And like for some reason, that's the adulting part. But then there's other anxieties that I feel, and I'll put this to the audience. What are like the weird ones you have? Because there's sometimes I have anxieties or fears that have nothing to do with anything. Or like a better way, maybe it's not anxiety, but I'll go to sleep at night. And I feel like I have a bad memory. Sometimes I can't remember what I ate for lunch, like but then I'll go to sleep at night, and my brain will be like, "Hey, remember that weird thing that happened in 2nd grade? Yeah, you have that back again." And I'm like, "Okay, great."
Those retroactive fears. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, great." I remember that one time I was in 2nd grade, and I like shook someone's hand weird, and they looked at me weird, and I'm like, "Why is that judgment coming back?"
So, like-
but I can't remember. Like I had a network opportunity. I can't remember the guy's name. I want to text back. Like, why is that one?
Like
still
waking
locked
up in the middle of the night, hearing a school bell saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm late for class."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Wait.
Have you guys had those dreams? Those dreams are interesting when you're late for class.
You know, it's actually kind of funny. I don't even know. It happened within the last year. Like I thought this was just a trope of like you see in classic media. But like I actually had the fear of going into work without pants on. Dream.
Did you really?
I really did, and I was like. That must be a level that I just reached.
Yeah,
I've never experienced that before.
Can I ask? Was it kind of funny?
It was kind
like,
of funny.
To get a stereotypical dream is like kind of. And I'm not trying to downplay it, but to be like I had the dream.
I had the dream, and it wasn't even the fact that I went to work with no pants. I was woken up at work from my bed, and I was already in the office, and I was like. How did I get here? Who invited you guys into my house?
Right.
And now I have to prepare for work while I'm in my house. And I wake up, I'm saying, this doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, you know, it's so funny. You're probably going to have some people out there watching this. There are people that analyze dreams, and they'll say things like, if you are, if you go someplace and you find yourself naked, it's something about exposure. I mean, obviously, but exposing yourself or being, I don't know all the connections, but there are people that analyze dreams. So, I mean, we sometimes harbor things in our minds from our youth. I mean, you're in your 20s, so therefore, honestly, not negating your years, but how many years prior do you have as like things that bothered you? So it makes sense that those past fears of like, kindergarten, 2nd grade, junior high school might impact you. Fair. Because you've only been in your 20s for,
I mean, I'm a whole 28. I'm almost
a whole
out of 20.
32.
Well, yeah. I mean, Oh, 28.
I'm just saying.
No. What I'm saying is, but if you're 28, 14 years ago, you were 14. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is what's going to impact you right now. Because sometimes it's, in fact, I'm going to say this to the public. A lot of times, a lot of our fears come from things that have been implanted in our youth.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I know a lot of people take how they look.
Right.
And they'll say, I'm too heavy, I'm too ugly, my nose is this. And you're remembering when a child insulted you, when you were a child. So it was like a little 9-year-old boy, you look like a toad face. And so now here you are in your 40s going, why doth I look like a frog? Little Bobby was right, but you're but you're thinking
Even with the British, why was he Shakespearean with it? Man is going through it.
But that's how it haunted. At least that's how things haunt me. I think. Things
Are you anxiety Shakespearean? Because that's terrifying.
Honestly, if Shakespeare insulted me,
that's terrifying.
and made it poetic, I would be be a fear for my life.
You know what? We're going to create a phrase. Let's call it Macbething.
Macbething.
We're going to call it Macbething. So everyone.
That's the eternal fear. You
so
can't say
everyone-
that word on stage.
I know, no doubt, right?
Isn't that all Macbeth was? All Macbeth was just a book about anxiety, right? The king was just.
It started with that.
mainly
to the point where you see witches to say like, "Oh, how do I get rid of my fear?"
I guess
Right.
a witch
You
would
know?
give you anxiety.
And it goes, kill it all. Kill all your fear.
Right. So the thing is, we get these things that happen that are normal, but it's really just making sure that we don't get overwhelmed by it. And certain things are wisdom, because like for me, I used to love roller coasters, love them before you guys were born. Sometimes, now I'm going to tell a secret. Now I'm going to tell a secret to the public that I've never told. Your mother, my wife, we would. They had a group of friends, and your mother and their friends really didn't like roller coasters.
Yeah.
And this is, and I love them. You live for them. And so we would go to Great Adventure. So I remember when we were dating. And I knew that they were going to go to Great Adventure like on a weekend. Once or twice when we went, I went the day before so I can get on roller coasters with abandon. So then when I went to them, I got it all out, because I felt like, because they seemed more mature than me. Because they would pass by a roller coaster and it was like, and I'm like, I want to get on, But, so now I'm there, I'm cool, I'm good. The Superman thing.
Been there, done that.
But when you guys were born and stuff like that, and as you guys got older, I started saying, Macbething. I must be careful, for my sons' lives depend on my life. So you start getting those things, and people are falling out of roller coasters and stuff like that. Whatever it is, and it's tragic stuff. And I found that my appetite for I'm not afraid of them. But my appetite is like,
You're just done away with them now.
Yeah, it's like, it's not necessarily like, it's like, oh, gee whiz, I want to drop 500 miles in the sky with a rope tied to my back. It's like.
Actually, that's the exact ride I have never tried yet.
Yeah, you see?
Right, you know?
See? Yeah.
Oh, there is one. There's like a slingshot one.
Yeah, the ones that say like, all right, you have
It was a
you
crane,
and your
right?
best buddy, and then it's not even a ride. It really is just you being whiplashed.
Yeah.
For
You know what's funny?
$45 at a time.
I've always wanted to go on that one, and one of the reasons why I'm because I also love roller coasters. But one of the reasons I didn't want to go on that one because I was always scared I was too skinny because I'm a really slim dude, so I just think they wouldn't have like my measurements. They're like, this man's we've never seen a man that's skinny before. So I'll do this thing, I'll just slip out. Like I've always been scared. I'm too thin to be on it.
But there are people that have slipped out of roller coasters.
That's what I mean.
So those are real things that Okay, to people like Great Adventure and Great Escape, we are not saying anything about your organization. All we're saying,
I don't think it's a sue worthy.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just being careful. But anyway, the point is,
Not only is
that's
he,
a fear.
No, not only is he too skinny. There's actually moments in time he might be a little too tall for.
Oh,
that.
yeah, that
there was
one
a
got
point
me.
in time like he kind of
remember
reached
this
like
one,
14 and 15, right? There like we used to go to Great Escape like all the time when we were younger. Like
Right.
and now that we're older, we all do our separate things. Yada yada yada. Right? But like there was a point in time when he used to go to a roller coaster and he was like, you were too small to ride these rides.
Yeah.
And then like 2 summers later, he was taller than the sign that says you have to be this tall to ride
Right.
this ride. So it's like, what do you do after you're taller than the too short to ride sign? Right? He had to like kind of like ride the roller coaster like this.
I do remember that.
Just to avoid it.
I think it was called the Comet or something. I remember like always,
something.
and I've always wanted to go because I do remember like my growth spurt was wild because I was like first I was too short, then I just became too tall. Like like you said, almost 2 summers. So I only had like a year of having a good time, and the next time I'm now too tall, and now I'm like ducking under because like it was like going to the low bar. I'm like that it just feels like you can feel it.
Right.
Like, it feels I'm like I
Like
don't
when the cave
think.
passed over your head, I'm sure you felt the wood.
I always worry about the feet dangling. It's like they're going to chop my feet off.
Right.
But those I think are logical fears, and depending upon where you are in life, certain things you're going to mitigate and say, I'm going to do this less. I don't necessarily need to do this because honestly, I have started to think like those kind of activities, and this is anyone that does it, God bless you. But the people that like want to escape death, to me, like bungee jumping, you're trusting
The daredevils, the
you know,
thrill
see,
seekers.
like the guys that measure the rope for bungee jump. I don't
evil
know.
Knievel's out there.
Do we assume that they're like, Albert Einstein? I weigh this much, and the drop is that. For the rocks are there. Do I have enough rope length? And I'm trusting, Eugene. Yeah, sure, you got enough. And you leap with the possibility of you never being again, and just dangle yourself right before life's end and be pulled back up. And then we call that fun. And we're like, it's a thrill. And it's like, why are we thrilled to just cheat death? So, don't have to read a book. We got 5 minutes.
Read a book is
Another Instagram or Facebook post that I saw recently was someone having a full marriage ceremony. And I think the bride and groom were just kind of like dangled on top of this platform made out of like bungee rope, up like over a ravine. And it was like, I don't even know, like most of the party was like on the cliffside.
Talk about having cold
But,
feet.
like, I've actually seen, it's facts on that. But like it was just both of them were just on the like I don't even know what it was. It was like you see gaps in this thing. It was like a net, and you see like, do you? I do. Do you? I sure do. It's like is that like?
Oh no,
Like, I've
and that's
never
worse because it's a wedding. Because imagine you have to do the
it's
jump the
like-
broom thing.
Right.
Oh, God.
But the highlight of all of that was the fact that the best man almost lost a ring when it was dropping in between.
my
Like no one
gosh.
even said.
Did he
like,
catch
who-
it?
Like I think they found it. Like
that's
again, it had no sound or anything like that. I was scrolling through, but like I think like for you to even plan a wedding, like over 500 feet of like nothing. Like, is that like finding the one? Is like if someone did this with me,
I feel like
I
that's-
know for a fact that they are with me for life because they didn't have to do this, But like,
I mean, I feel like if you almost drop the ring, you're the best man. You definitely are the best man. If that's where your dropper is, like,
right? But I don't know. We're going from fears into
Well,
like
we only have a
stuff
couple
like
minutes.
that.
we only got a couple minutes, so we're going to really quickly, everybody going around the room, let's address some fears that are not bungee jump related, and
An
give some
irrational
ideas.
fear of sharks. I used to have that when I was younger. It actually prevented me from swimming in the rivers and lakes and oceans for a while. Now I think I just fear pollution.
Okay. Well, well, go on, because I wasn't really going.
no, you have to go first. I'm trying to think
Well,
about it.
I wasn't
I thought
really.
we were just listing
well,
fears
no.
now.
I was trying to get to the point of how to deal with them.
Yeah.
So my
Don't go swimming in dirty lakes.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, that is true. However, what I'd like to say is don't let your fears overwhelm you. I'm going to, of course, say, pray, don't, and then go venture forth towards whatever you're going to do. Maybe a new job. And we've talked about that before. I don't know why I said job so strongly, but it may be
Job.
a new
Job.
but just know that things are going to get better. You're going to, just don't let it overwhelm you. Go ahead, Lex. You run.
I legitimately the don't worry, be happy thing. Because I think the thing that I've caught with anxiety and stuff, I mentioned this earlier, you can't fight anxieties per se because they're always going to be there. But this is going to seem so simple and this is different. But honestly, almost, I feel bad saying this, but almost lying to myself. Because sometimes I'll catch one, I'll be all right. It's really just thinking really as big picture as possible. Because sometimes you get the anxieties, it's like, I don't know, you can worry about, or something, is something stuck in my teeth? And then you really think like, but is that really that big of a deal?
Right.
So I think like, kind of letting the anxieties flow through, like acknowledging them, understanding something, and then kind of just letting yourself being like, I'm all right, I can get this, and just getting to the next day. Like Nell said that sometimes you just have to get through it.
Right.
Yeah.
And there were,
Yeah. That's it.
right.
Ooh.
Give
Yeah.
yourself empathy. I think that's
I like that. Yeah,
I-
don't let anyone force you into anything.
I've always told people, like in various situations, right? You're always stronger than your situation, all right? And there's also points in time, like yes, keep moving forward, right? Take it one step at a time, right? But in dealing with certain anxiety, sometimes like even taking on mundane tasks, they can fill you with a dread, right? If you break it down one task at a time, one step at a time, right? Make it minuscule, right? And then it won't be so big overall, right? You get rid of that load of laundry, right? Then the room is a little cleaner so that way you can worry about sweeping and mopping later.
Right,
Stuff
right.
like that. So just take it one bit at a time.
Yeah.
But
All right. We got, was it
That's about 30 seconds.
30 seconds? This has been Various Fields. We are here to tell you, you got this. Hang in there. Don't let your fears and anxiety overwhelm you, and we believe in you. We know that you got this.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, Various Fields. Thank you, guys. I love you guys.
Love you too.
All right.
Talk to you later. Bye.